did a video back in October of last year where I talked about this quote, this Ring of Fire prophecy from Corrie Ten Boom, something she said back in the 1970s. And so I'm going to talk about that again tonight and tell you a little bit more information. But this is a screenshot from that video that I did back then where I explained about what this was. So you probably have heard of Corrie Ten Boom. Okay, a lot of us have heard of her. So her family, if you haven't, I'll tell you a little bit about her. So she is Dutch. Her and her family were Dutch, and they were sent to Nazi concentration camps during World War II. Okay, during World War II, after they were caught helping Jewish people escape from the Nazis. So they're not Jewish, but they were helping the Jewish people escape. And so the whole family was sent to concentration camps. And Corrie Ten Boom was a teenager when that happened. So of her whole family, everybody died in the concentration camps except for Corrie. She was the only one who survived. And so after the war ended, she ended up traveling all over the world to share her story. The reason why you have probably heard of her is because there was a very popular book written about her life called The Hiding Place. The Hiding Place. And there have been many movies made about her story. Now, I read that book when I was a little kid. So I knew about her, since I was a little bitty kid. There was a comic book, kids Christian comic book about her story, and I read that as well. So I always loved Corrie Ten Boom, but I had never heard about this Ring of Fire prophecy. So anyway, she traveled around the world sharing her story, teaching about Jesus Christ. She was a prophetic woman of God. She loved Jesus. She passed away in 1983 when she was 91 years old. So in the 1970s, so way back, Corrie Ten Boom experienced a series of visions about the Ozark Mountain area where I now live, okay, in this area where Billy Brem's ministry is as well. And so I had heard about this when we moved here. When we first moved here, we heard about this prophecy. It's something that a lot of people around here in this area know about, we talk about. So when I did my previous podcast in October, I did a lot of research trying to find any information I could find. Some confirmation, corroborating evidence, anything good that would give me a lot of good information about what exactly happened with these visions that Corrie Ten Boom had about the Ozark Mountain area. And I will tell you, it's hard to find information about stuff that happened in the 1970s. So the best piece of information I could find was this newspaper article it's called the Corner Gathering Newsletter. It is a Christian newsletter that came out of Harrison, Arkansas. This is an article written by Julie Turner, and it was published in October 2008. And I was able to find copies of this and download it online. And so this is the best information I've been able to find so far. I am planning to do more research. Okay, but according to this, Corrie Ten Boom actually had 4 vision experiences about the Ozark area. So I'm just going to read this. It's pretty short. So Mrs. Ten Boom appeared on Trinity Broadcasting Network in the late 1970s, so TBN. She was being interviewed by Paul Crouch. She said, looking into the camera, "The Lord has told me that the center of the Christian movement in the United States will take place in Northwest Arkansas." Then she turned to Paul Crouch and she said, "Where is Arkansas?" So she's wasn't from the States. She didn't even know where Arkansas was when God gave her the first word. So that was vision number 1, word number 1. Number 2, there is a church in Fort Smith named Maranatha Fellowship where Corrie Ten Boom ministered. At one time, she told the congregation that the Lord had said God has set aside Northwest Arkansas for his people. Then story number 3, this is the one most people have heard of. Bill Gothard, a well-known man of God, tells about his airplane flight in the late 1970s when he sat next to Corrie Ten Boom. She told him of a vision she was actually experiencing during the flight while looking down out of the airplane window. She saw an amber-colored flame in a circle on the terrain below. Mrs. Ten Boom asked Bill Gothard what part of our country were they flying over. So he got up and he asked the pilot, and he found out that it was the Ozark Mountains in northwest Arkansas. So Corrie stated that there would be something big to do with ministry in this area and talked about it a second time that same evening as a guest at the Gothard's dinner table. Bill Gothard's sister, who was also his secretary, still remembers that conversation at their dinner table and confirmed it by telephone on March 22nd, 2006. All right, number 4. Sister Corrie Ten Boom came back to Arkansas before her debilitating stroke, and in her spirit, she saw angels with drawn swords protecting Northwest Arkansas from her vantage point just north of Harrison, Arkansas, which is where I live. Several members of the Great Passion Play, which is a big thing here in this area, who were with her that day, confirmed to Joseph Heath of the Agape Love Messenger her remarks. Okay, so this is the best information I've been able to find so far. I am planning on doing more research. So basically, the whole gist of the story that people tell here, and kind of putting this all together, she said in the last days there will be a great revival, in that it will begin in the Ozark Mountainous area in northwest Arkansas, Ozark Mountains, and it will expand outward around the country, around the world. Okay, so that's the Corrie Ten Boom prophecy, Ring of Fire prophecy.